Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cat Bed Home in our after school hours. Great to see you all again for this lovely Tuesday afternoon. My name is Miss Allie, and today we are going to be working on making these adorable ugly sweater polar bear drawings. Perfect for cold weather. Everyone's getting their sweaters out, and we gotta love polar bears because they're just too cute. So get ready. I'm going to switch over to my drawing board. I'll show you materials and step-by-step instructions on how to make this adorable bear. All right, let's get started. Okay, just give me a second here. Just setting up my drawing space. Always good idea to have a space that is clean and, well, you are allowed to get messy. Now, we're not doing a messy project today. We are drawing this very cute polar bear. And materials we are going to need today are piece of paper, so it can be as big or as small as you want. I have this pretty good sized paper with me today. Pencil. We're also going to need an eraser, as well as a black marker, a Sharpie, or crayon, or colored pencil. For our outline of our bear, and we're also going to need some colored pencils, crayons, or markers, some colors to color in the ugly sweater part of our adorable polar bear. So, let us get started. I'm going to put this little guy up here. And the first thing that we're going to do is actually start our drawing of our polar bear. So I always recommend drawing in pencil first, and then we can erase our pencil lines later. But for the sake of this drawing, so you can see what I'm working on, I will draw in black so you can see what I'm doing. The first thing I like to do is actually just draw the neckline or the top of the sweater. So this kind of gives me an idea of this is probably about almost halfway to the top. I know this is going to be the head of my polar bear, and this will be the bottom. And I can go ahead and actually add these lines in. And this is sort of my sweater arm. If you wanted to add some lines for arms, you could. If you want to say my polar bear arms are starting there, you could do that. What we want to do is add in the head of our bear. So I'm actually going to make those lines a little better. Then we want to add the head. So there are two ways to do this. You can draw your head so it's like one big circle, sort of like I did in my example, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Another thing you can do is actually draw sort of like a large oval shape if you want more of like a top oval shape head. I'm a fan of the circle head, so I'm actually just going to draw this. And you can see how I'm not making my circle perfect, because no one is perfect, nor is our polar bear. And so I have this shape. And then I'm going to add in some ears at the top here. So I kind of like making these sort of rounded bear ears. Like this, both sides, because our bear needs two. That'll be sort of like the inside of our ear. And the next thing that we want to add is, we want to add the inside of the face. So this is where we add the eyes, the nose, and such. So on a bear, the inside, this part of the bear, where the nose and the mouth is actually called a muzzle. And so that is what this whole area is called. So we're going to draw that first. It's sort of like a rounded triangle. Something like that, sort of in the middle. If it's not perfect, that's okay. And then I'm going to draw an upside down triangle. This will be our little bear nose. You can go ahead and color that in. Cute little bear nose. Then the next thing that you can do, draw a line down like this. It's almost like we're making an anchor. Draw two lines going outward, curved, and this way we're making our little bear smile. And then I always like to add some sort of like dimples, or this would be sort of like where the whiskers would go, kind of right there. And then I want to add my eyes. So I put my eyes just right above the top of the muzzle, or where the nose and the mouth is. So it would be just about here. Don't make them too big or too small. You can add any kind of eyes you want. You can even add googly eyes if you wanted. Another thing I like to do is actually just kind of color them in, but I draw the small circle first before I start covering them in. And it sort of gives the eyes sort of like a shiny look or a gloss look like that. Okay, so we have our adorable little polar bear. So the next thing we want to do is actually add stripes. We want to add stripes for our ugly sweater. So here I have divided mine up into a couple different shapes, and you can see how I didn't draw exactly straight lines. They're a little curvy, and that's okay too. And I added a little like fun collar at the top because that's just, needs some flair. So I might do that again here. I like adding these kind of fun collars on sweaters. And then I might start just doing right across. And you can make these stripes as thick or as thin as you want them. And you could even leave this one or add just a little space down here. That's up to you. So I know that this is technically where my arms are going to go, and so my designs are just going to go right over those lines. Okay, now I'm just outlining this one more time to make sure it's on there really good. Okay, so the next steps, this is the fun part. This is where we add in all the details. So first we want to make our bear look fuzzy, because who doesn't love a fuzzy bear? So it's really simple to just add in these lines. So I'll show you how to do that to get that fur look. I usually start down here. And I sort of start to add in a row, and I'm not making them too long. And I kind of start, and I make a few of them short, a few of them long. It's almost like I'm creating rows here. Okay, and you can even throw a couple going a different direction. Because just like if you saw like facial hair, it doesn't always go in the same direction. And then once you start going out here, I actually jump back up to do the spots around the eye. And here's why. So it almost looks like a radiating sun when we go like this. It's like we're drawing. And I sort of do a few different types of lines. Some of them are big and fat. Some of them are a little shorter. Once I get to about the third time around, I start to sort of blend in these lines coming up here. So this is where we would maybe have a few lines going in a few different directions. And this is, I draw that big line in the middle because this kind of helps me figure out where the middle is going to be. So I can just keep adding in, and you can add in as many as you want. If you want it to be more full, if you want it to be more scraggly looking, they don't all have to be straight. So I just kind of fill in. Again, some of them long, some of them short, as long as it takes. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then I, of course, want to do that for the ears as well. So I'm just going to add in a couple lines going around. Again, some long, some short. Do that on both sides. And then the middle of the ear, you can choose to leave blank, open, or you can color it in. So you can either leave them open like this, or you can color them in. Okay, so we have something like that. Then the fun part, more fun continues. So we have our fur, we have our happy polar bear. It's got a nice little smile. You can add a little tongue down there if you want. And next thing we want to do is actually add in the designs of our sweater. So if you see in my first example, each section of my sweater is a different pattern. And I chose some wintry themes because I'm going with the ugly sweater theme. And I know that I see usually trees and snowflakes and things. Ooh, sorry about that. I usually see trees and snowflakes and things on my sweater. So I might actually go ahead and draw some of those things in. So I might know that, let's see, maybe I want one of my stripes I want to look like ornaments. And I could color some of these in. You know, I could do like this. And you can take as much time as you want with these. This is the part that'll take the longest, is really drawing and filling in your patterns and designs that you want to use. So maybe this one will be ornaments. And then maybe I fill in the middle part green or something, or maybe the background is green. Something like that, okay? So then maybe I want the next one to have trees on it. I like doing the Christmas trees. And that's just sort of like making triangles. Going back and forth, coloring those in. Maybe I want to do a couple of these. And then you could even do one with Santa's hat or Santa's sleigh. You could do one with reindeer, one with snowmen. You could just do basic patterns if you want, just like circles and triangles or something. Something like that. Maybe, and maybe the background on that one is blue, or like the background on this one is red. Maybe this one, I don't know, I could do snowmen. I liked that idea. Or you could do snowflakes or other patterns. You could do a candy cane stripes. All of those could go good in any of these stripes. So you want to fill in each of these designs totally different. So maybe I'll do, I love snowflakes, so maybe I'll do another one like that. So this is kind of the relaxing part. You know, adding in your drawings, your little designs. And I'm using marker because that's what I had with me next to me, but you can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, you can even paint it if you wanted to. Totally up to you. And then, once it's totally all colored the way that you want it, the cool part is you can leave it as is, or you could add little details, like maybe you wanted to add a little glitter on there. You totally could. There is no right or wrong way to do it. So I'm just making my little snowflakes here. If you've never made a snowflake like this before, it's just drawing lines outward and then adding triangles on the inside. So lines, and then I do one triangle down, one triangle above, one triangle down, one triangle above. And the bottom triangles almost like create, or like almost like connect to create some sort of pattern. Okay, you could do something like that. Maybe I wanted one section to have like Santa's hat. So something like that. You could do something like that. Or I could have an elf hat. Oh yeah, let's do an elf hat. An elf hat maybe look like elf hats are usually striped, right? I think so. Something like that. Anything you want. It could even be milk and cookies if you wanted it to be. You know, something like that. So, whenever you fill in each section, you whenever you fill in each section, I would want to make sure I color these in to make it look like a really good sweater. So I would want to color it in sort of like this. So I'll finish mine. In the meantime, I will keep adding some patterns. Maybe I'll color this in a little bit, or maybe I'll add some, like, I don't know, maybe some yellow stars or something in the background here. You know, each section will be its own pattern. So whenever I finish this up, I will take a picture of it and post it here so you can check out my finished polar bear ugly sweater drawing. So, whenever you finish up, you get your sweater the way that you like it, then you can erase your pencil lines if you haven't done so already. Then you can make sure all your markers have caps on them. You can make sure everything's all cleaned up. Put them back where you got everything. And when your space looks as good as it did when you started, and you finish your polar bear, then you are all set to show off your wonderful ugly sweater polar bear. So like I said, I'll finish mine up and post it along. So thank you for joining me again. Today my name is Miss Allie. It was great to see you all today. Hopefully you enjoyed this art making tutorial on our ugly sweater polar bears. I would love to see what you made if you want to finish your drawing and post it in the comments of this video. And we always have videos in the afternoon every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during the week. So if you aren't busy at 4 p.m., check out our live videos. And if you missed them, then you can check them out later on our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram channels. So thank you for joining me again on Cap at Home. We'd love to see your drawings. And have a great rest of your day and enjoy your fun, cozy looking polar bear.